So having recently woken up from yet another night of stressful sleep, I realized I'm living on the edge. And it's not that I'm living on the edge of life and death, which is what people so often mean when they say someone's living on the edge. What I feel is I'm living on the edge of consciousness and unconsciousness. And I'm actually choosing to do that at some level, or maybe it's just my destiny. But what I mean by living on that edge of consciousness and unconsciousness, walking that line, is I want to know my unconscious better. I want to know what's going on beneath the surface with me. I want to take the risk to go into the places in myself that aren't so pretty, that have a lot of stuff buried, where my unresolved traumas still lie, where my blind spots lie, the painful parts of my history, the parts of me that I don't know so well, maybe don't like so much, parts of me that aren't so together, aren't integrated, aren't self-aware. And that's stressful. It's very stressful. And I think, why do I do this? Why am I drawn to do this? Why is it my destiny to do this? Why do I find such value in doing this? Well, from what I've found, that's where growth happens. That's where I become a better person. That's where I find out the things about myself that are not making my life better. That's where I find my self-destructive parts, my self-hating parts. That's where I discover my own worst enemy and learn how to change those parts of myself. And what I also find, especially by making these videos being a manifestation of me walking that edge, of pushing that edge, of crossing that edge, is that I find I'm able to be useful to other people. And my goal is to be optimally useful to other people. I often think in my fantasy moments, gosh, wouldn't it be nice to just make videos that were about fun and easy things and talk about interesting things that have happened to me? And then I think, boring. It's already been said a million times. People have done this a million times. Make people feel happy and comfortable. But that's not my goal. The other thing is, to be honest, I've tried it. I've tried to make videos that aren't so controversial, aren't pushing that edge at all. And what I find is I really don't have a talent for it. And often what happens is right in the middle of the video, I just stand up, walk over to the camera and press stop and say, no more. This is boring. I don't even care. And if I don't care what I'm saying, why would I expect anybody else to care? I certainly wouldn't want to watch a video that's boring, that isn't pushing the edge, that really isn't challenging growth. Yet at the same time, there's a part of me that resists doing this, resists walking this line, that does want to just live in comfort, wants to grow old and just kind of numb out, fade out, be like my ancestors who weren't living to push this edge at all, actually really wanted to avoid this edge. And from what I've seen, that's so much of the norm of humanity. Normal people so often want to avoid that edge, don't even want to acknowledge that that edge exists, or calls that edge insanity. That's what other people do. Other people have crossed that line and they don't come back. That's a bad thing. They have a problem. They have a chemical imbalance. Oh, they had a genetic predisposition to go over that edge and not come back. And I don't want to go there. I don't even have that edge inside myself. I am sane. I don't have any disorders. Well, for me, what I find again and again is I do have that edge. It's in me and it's scary. Not to say I'm mentally ill, but that's not to say that anybody is mentally ill. What I believe is that some people, for whatever reason, are called to that edge, or some people get thrown over that edge through trauma. By no will of their own, by no desire of their own, life takes them into very, very ugly and horrible places, and they're clawing their way back. I've also seen people who have crossed that edge, and it's been horrible for them, and when they come back, they're like, I know that edge is there, I know that edge is inside me, and I don't want to go back. And can I fault them for that in a way? No, because I think when I was younger, I was forced over that edge many, many times, and I hated that edge, and I spent many, many years just reveling in the comfort that I had my sanity back, that I was okay, and no one was going to make me go toward that edge. And even at certain points, I denied that I had it. Oh, I'm not insecure. Oh, I don't have problems. Oh, I'm all together on the inside. And I really needed that defense to feel okay again, to feel like I was a real person, to feel like I was functional, normal. I really needed that feeling. I needed to go out and survive in the world and thrive in the world as a normal person because my self-esteem was so damaged by having gone over that edge against my will through traumas that happened inside of my family system. And that's another thing that happened. I saw that in my family. I think at some level, my family designated me as the identified patient in some way who was going to go over that edge. And I was going to represent going over that edge for all of them. And they kind of liked it. Oh, he's the one with problems and we are not. And I've seen that in family systems a lot. Family systems can designate one person to be the one who is crazy or has problems or who is insecure or who is screwed up in different ways because it makes them feel safe. Oh, that one is the other, she is the other, he is the other, not us, we're fine. And oh, sometimes they can be very compassionate for that one who is the other. Well, interestingly, when I had more problems, my family liked me a lot more. But when I started walking back toward that edge consciously and saying, no, I want to go back there, and I want to go back there of my own volition, not out of desire to be traumatized, but out of desire to heal those traumas. I want to explore that edge. I want to walk over into that edge. I'm going to explore my dreams because my dreams really tell me about that other side because that's where I go at night. That's part of why I sleep so badly so often. Also, making these videos, I thread the needle of that edge. I'm walking that edge, jumping into it, saying things that are not okay according to my family system, according to most family systems from what I've seen. Causes me a lot of stress. It's like it really does remind me of some not pleasant times in my life. Also, it brings up my terror of rejection. Part of my traumas were about being rejected, were about being abandoned. So even when I consciously, by my own choice, part of my conscious adult destiny, conscious, maybe it's kind of unconsciously driven too, part of me going to that edge, it reminds me of those traumas. It's very scary. I still don't want to be rejected. I still don't want to be abandoned. But more than that, I want to grow. I want to be useful. I want to be helpful to other people who want to walk along this path. And what I find is this path has incredible value. Yes, it's very, very, very stressful. Yes, it's not pleasant to be rejected by the family system. Yes, it's stressful to be outside of the norm, to be different, to be criticized, to be considered pathological in different ways, to not have the conventional defenses of the norm, to say, no, I am okay. I can't lean back on those things. But what I find is the more that I do walk that edge, cross that line into my unconscious, really get to know myself better, learn slowly how to convert my unconscious into more consciousness. I have strengths that I never thought were possible. And every day, bit by bit, a little bit, maybe more like week by week or month by month, I become more strong, more confident, more of a real self. And what I will say is if I did not see and find and learn and experience such incredible value in pushing that edge, in walking that edge, in crossing that edge, of being an anthropologist inside of my own mind, I don't think I'd do it. I don't think I'd have any reason to do it. But because I find such value in it, because I've seen other people find such value in it, I continue on this path.